is that I'm facing you because I'm talking to you, but then I gotta talk to the camera as well.
You don't just talk. Look at me.
Nah, that's what I mean. I'm just
focus on me.
But then we got to maybe set Brendan up in a way that he's in my direct eye line as well.
Well, you just turn and look at him because he's right there.
That feels so alien to me.
Or you mean I should move the entire computer around you, as opposed to you? Or do you want me to turn my back to Brendan so you can talk to us like this?
I'm not sure what's right, to be honest.
That's like a guy who's so rich he's never had to understand reality, to just be like, we gotta set Brendan up in a way so I can look at you and also see him. It's a giant monitor. What
visionaries? I think the word you're looking for is visionaries, Brendan.
I don't. No, first of all, it's also do you ever see a real conversation in life? People don't stand directly in line. You know what I mean? Like usually when you're talking to other people in life, someone might stand to the left, someone might stand.
I say get in line. I shuffle them in. I go,
If you are speaking to me, you must get into my side of light.
Please hold. I do ladder style. Okay, that for most efficient. I do ladder style. Step to your rung. Okay.
Well, I guess that was the idea from last week, right? Was the Log Flume podcast?
The episode. Yeah, Brendan wasn't here, so you don't know.
Yeah, we'll explain it to him.
I don't remember. I think we discussed doing a podcast. I'm guessing from context clues that we discussed doing a podcast where Anthony would sit behind me like a log flume. But who's to really know?
Mike, do you have any record of that?
Mike, take us to the clip.
He's so sad he could barely pick himself off the ground to speak.
Well, it's interesting. I don't know why you're calling for the records. Greg seems to have really hit the nail right on the head with the description, and you're going, Mike, what's the rec? I mean, there's only two options: what Greg said or a podcast on an actual log flume. And that,
well, that's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of, Brendan.
Actually, Brendan, you bring up a very good point. We did discuss doing the actual podcast on a log flume, but the equipment would get all wet. There'd be water all over the camera. I think that was also mentioned.
Well,
Mike refuses to pull up the records.
The record says that you would do it if you could figure out how to do it without getting it wet.
Oh, wet's not your only issue. Wet's not your only issue. What's a
gravity?
What's a flume ride run? About a minute 30 seconds. So you got to wrangle these guys to let you just stay on the flume round and round, and they're gonna go get to the back of the line. You're gonna go. We're mid segment here, pal. We're mid fucking segment.
We're in the middle of an ad read.
You give anybody a Grant B. Harding bill, and they'll let you take as many rides as you want.
What? Run us down what a Grant B. Harding bill might be, Greg. Who you think he might be?
It might be. I don't know who's on the 100, but I knew there was a Harding. I know there's a B. I think it's Susie and B. Anthony, and I know there's a Grant somewhere. So I just threw them all together and said, "I'll get some of this, right? You know, like put as many ingredients in the stew,
right,
and pick out what you don't like."
So you got Grant from Ulysses Grant. You got B from Susan B. Anthony.
Yeah.
And then you got Harding from, what is it, William Harding, Brendan?
Warren G. Harding.
Warren G. Harding. I was thinking of the basketballs. Harding.
Widely considered the worst.
Well, you got Harden from James Harden. Basketball player.
So we're not talking about Warren G. Harding. Never mind.
Right, we're talking about, we're talking about the beard himself.
But wasn't there also a basketball that makes a basketball named Harding?
Just Spalding.
Harding? Well, I don't know.
Wait.
Anyway, pay off the guy at the flume, and he'll let you do as many loops as you want. That guy's making $5 an hour.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, a guy who's working a flume, man, that's a guy who'll throw his life away for $5.
Right.
He don't care.
$5 honeys? $500 will change most anyone's life. You know, most people don't live in a world where $500 isn't enough for them to do pretty much anything.
Interesting. Okay.
And I'm in a position where I could do $500 to somebody once every 6 months. Once every 6 months, I can walk up to a guy and be like, "Hey, man, take your pants off. Here's $500." You know, well, not take your pants off, but like maybe pay a log flume guy to let me do all day. You know, I could do that once every 6 months, and summer is only 3 months. So once a summer, I can do a full day of log fluming. I think
you're the Greg's twice a year 500 challenge turned around so quickly from a guy taking his pants off to the log flume ride.
Yeah,
I couldn't think of another example.
yeah, that's fine. That's okay. You're in the heat of the moment. You know, you started rattling them off. I understand. Don't you worry about it. Now, is Warren G? Did Warren G get his name from Warren G. Harding?
I
Warren
always
G?
wondered that.
Yeah.
Warren G? No. It was from Warren T.
So
that was already
bad.
taken. Because Wes was everyone knows it was Warren T. Because he was like, you get the best rap every time. That's the warranty.
That's the warranty.
Warranty. That's the warranty guarantee. And then they were like, Warren T's been rapping for years. He's just not big, but he's got, he sent that shit to himself in the mail.
Right.
So he's like, well, then just give me Warren G. I'm mixing up warranty with the guarantee.
Oh, you don't want to. His brother Guarantee is a hell of a rapper himself.
I guarantee.
So wait, Brendan, what were you going to say? You always wondered that about Warren G and Warren G. Harding.
Yeah, I did always wonder that, but now I don't have to because it was originally Warren. Mike, no, it wasn't Warren Griffith III. He's not related to Robert Griffin III. It's a Warren. It was originally Warren T, as Greg said, clear as day, and that was taken.
Also, sorry, Anthony, this is more important than what you have to say. I forgot.
That was man, what a lunatic. Wait, Mike, what you're saying is Warren Griffith III?
That's his real name.
Oh,
Now, a griffin is a tiger / bird, right?
I'm always unclear about. There's some kind of flying beast.
I believe, yes, I believe it is an eagle with a lion's head. I could be wrong.
You'd be surprised. You'd think that a flying lion would be used significantly more in the tall tales heard on screen. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You get a unicorn,
Right.
Every day you hear about unicorns.
I see what you're saying.
But a griffin is significantly cooler.
It should be in that category because people will jump to unicorn right away.
Right.
A griffin should be in the same popular category of mythical creature.
Yeah.
Whereas like you'll see like a unicorn or a dragon.
Yes.
Even like the giant squid isn't really up there. He's not a top tier mythical creature.
I want to argue that giant squid, I'm not 100% sure isn't real. That's one of those ones I go, wait a minute, is this a real one?
It is real, but it's not as real as they portrayed in the movies. And my favorite thing about the unicorn, I love the unicorn because this is what happened with the unicorn in medieval times. They would find these unicorn horns, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be like, that's proof there's unicorns. They then found out that they eventually found out they were coming from narwhals. Those are those things in the ocean.
Oh, from Santa's Village.
Equally, Santa's Village, don't know. But here's
hang on, we got
narwhals.
Hang on for a second.
Everyone knows the narwhal lives in Santa's Village. If you've seen the movie Elf,
okay, yeah, all right.
That's really all I got there. In the movie Elf, they show up.
Shout out to a couple elf heads out there who are gonna appreciate that comment.
But
Hit me, Brendan. Narwhals.
What's so crazy to me is they're like, there's this majestic thing, a unicorn. It's real. And then they found out, no, it's coming from a narwhal, which is as equally as crazy as a horse.
Crazier.
Yeah, probably crazier. And they go, fuck those guys. Not as fun. You know what? Yeah, fuck that. There's unicorns. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I wonder what that is because you look at those narwhal, it doesn't fit into their narrative. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a beast of the forest. They didn't have control of the seas back then.
Well, this is what makes me furious.
Bias.
Some guy swimming through the ocean finds a horn and goes, must be a horse. From all these swimming horses you see in the ocean.
Horses.
Yeah, right? It's like, what are you doing?
Right.
That's a grab and a half if you're gonna talk to me on the low. That's a grab.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're good.
If you're going to talk to Greg on the low, that's a grab. You heard it here first.
That
you're talking to me in a secret conversation on the side of a street. That's a grab.
Many places. For 1 second, there's so many human beings to look at in the room, and Greg has somehow managed to not look at me when he talks. He talked over his shoulder and he goes, "That's a grab." To somebody over there.
Yeah, look at you.
I also left that one alone. I left that one alone because I was like, I guess Anthony knows what it means when a person says, if I talk to you on the low, that's a grab.
I just looked at him wide-eyed and hoped nobody else spoke again. I didn't know what it meant.
Well, let me give you a little history here. This is what's happening recently. I was talking to my good friend Evan Williams, which rest in peace.
It's a shame.
Yeah. Anyway, we were talking about writing and what?
No, we probably should say Evan didn't die.
Oh, you didn't hear?
He did. Well,
I'm serious.
Cat on my face.
I'm serious. He died today.
Oh, he did. Okay.
He's dead.
All right.
You don't seem sad. I don't know why.
I refuse to be had.
He's not dead, but thanks for not coming. Thanks for not falling for it in a good way. I need to be tested. Fuck. What was I saying? It was very important.
Man.
Oh, I was talking to Evan. Yes.
Evan, yeah.
Is this too much?
No.
I'm too much.
No.
Evan Williams, I'm talking to him about, and he goes, and I was like, talking about writing or something. He goes, Greg, what do you write every day? Right? That's what you need to be working on.
Okay.
And he's pointing to the comic books, right? Like she's trying to lead me into I should write a comic book.
Okay.
But I didn't have the balls to tell him that when I go to the coffee shop every day, I'm writing raps. It's like, well, I'm always writing raps, because then his argument would have fell apart. And so then I was like, my problem with raps is that I don't read enough. I don't have enough good words in my head.
Right.
But what I do have is the ability to make up my own sentences.
Okay.
And so maybe that's what I'm going to lean into in my rap game.
I see.
On the low, that's a grab, right? That's what I got to lean into in my rap thing. I can't say things like Constantinople.
Right.
Because I don't know where that is.
Gotcha.
And I don't know the history behind it.
Gotcha.
That's it. That'll come to a crest.
Well,
that's cresting.
Rest in peace, Evan.
Right.
That's what I got out of it.
You know what he had? He didn't tell anybody. It's funny because Chadwick Boseman didn't tell everybody he had cancer.
Sure.
And Evan didn't tell anybody he had the gay-related immune deficiency syndrome.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's been getting a lot of blondes lately.
So anyway, we have things on the docket that we didn't discuss because we had to hit record immediately because Anthony just came in talking. But I wanted to know if you guys wanted to discuss a few things, and we could, we'll do it live. We'll do it live if you guys want to talk about it. Get to it whenever. We have to talk about Anthony's Halloween costume.
Oh God.
And at some point.
I mean, do we have this picture keyed
not
up?
yet. Mike's got it.
I gotta go down the list of things to talk about.
Okay, sorry.
What we'll get to, what we don't.
No, but I was just making sure we had the picture because it's I gotta see it to really revive my my horrific fright. But go on.
2. Oh fuck! What did I say before?
I'm not sure, man. You were going on about the costume, and then you were like, "We have another thing." You made us go back to this,
but remember
to get the second
before the podcast started. I think it's like this is what we're gonna jam on today.
Oh yeah,
and you went.
I had an idea about because I watched that Q documentary. So I had something to say about Q, which I thought was fun. And then you had something, but I just don't remember what it was.
Oh, I also want to talk about my art.
Okay,
where how people can buy my art now.
Right.
And I want to tell you, Brendan. Did I tell you that?
We touched on some NFT business you were getting into.
No, this is a whole new thing.
Okay, so you're no longer. Just let me confirm. You're no longer owning every word.
No, I'm working on that, but it's hard.
Okay.
I don't know how to develop apps.
Okay, yeah, that's what's it's held me back so many times that I don't know how to develop apps. But yeah, I'd love to hear about. I want to get through Anthony's costume. I want to hear Anthony what you said, and then I want to hear about your art. I'd like to hear all these things.
I think that's it. If we feel as though we're wavering, we can go to those topics.
Yeah, for sure, man. You're the one who stopped this.
Well, yeah,
to the topics
because I get. You know what it is for me?
Yeah.
It's that we got the lighting in this room, Anthony. I had you come over a half hour early so I could do the lighting.
Yeah.
And then we just sat and talked for 30 minutes and I didn't do the lighting. And this looks too, it's like we're in the basement of CBGB's, too dark, like the Ramones.
Yeah, but I think it adds a mood to it. You know what I mean? People want to go, it's a vibe.
They say it's a mood.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. What's the vibe? What's the vibe, Brendan, from your eyes?
From my eyes, it's a bit. I'm getting kind of a Kevin Smith vibe, like a Clerks type vibe, a little bit with color.
Hey, we should do Clerks.
Yeah.
We could do Clerks. We just do Clerks again.
The movie. I never really.
The whole movie improvised.
Oh, sure.
That's what we could do. Like instead of the Galactus movie, you and me should just do Clerks. Very easy to film.
Just only ever do Clerks.
We're just gonna say, hey, it's Clerks 5.
I see.
Jay and Silent Bob, you'll be silent as I will speak for us 90 minutes straight.
Sounds like a blast. Sounds like so much fun to be involved with and so much fun to watch.
Also,
yeah.
so you
Go ahead, say Snoochie Boochie every now and again.
So Anthony can't talk, and also in Clerks, those two guys were somewhat minor characters. So then there's just a whole huge chunks of time where no one's talking because you don't have Dante, the main guy in the Clerk.
Right. I've never seen Clerks, and no matter what I tell you in the future about how I've seen it and I love it, I've never fully seen it. I tried to get through it. In my opinion, unwatchable. But I loved Kevin Smith growing up, and so I've never seen it.
Kevin Smith is tough, man, because he's like, we have to like him because he's from New Jersey.
I know.
But if he wasn't, I would hate his guts.
I know, man.
He's so difficult because we're like people from New Jersey, and I bet you're probably like this in Cleveland as well with your heroes, where it's like, man, we will hold on to these guys to the grave. Kevin Smith, I've suffered through watching him say such dumb shit in a backwards hat, jean shorts, and an oversized hockey jersey, and I just have to go like, that's my guy right there.
Yeah. And he's into comic books.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I gotta love him.
Oh, God.
And I like his comic book opinions, and I loved his movies growing up, but rewatchability, zero. Every character talks like Kevin Smith.
Yes.
And Clerks doesn't even have color.
Clerks doesn't even have color.
What are we doing?
Yeah. Clerks is barely a talkie.
Yeah.
No, I make an argument for Mallrats and Dogma. I think those are two great movies.
All I was gonna say was I was gonna say the only really watchable Kevin Smith movie to me is Mallrats. Dogma's okay, but I knew one of the rollerblade kids didn't like him.
In Dog, right, there was that rollerblade.
Yeah, I knew him in real life.
Assassin Gang. Okay,
didn't care for him, so I said that I won't watch this movie. But Mallrats pretty good, but Clerks. I mean, you watch Clerks and you go, this is worse than just the security cam footage of an actual 7-Eleven.
Right.
Just get that, and it would look better.
Yeah. Our YouTube clips look better.
Yeah.
So here's the argue. I rewatched Mallrats.
Yes.
Within 1 or 2 years ago. And I wanted to love it.
Right.
But as a writer,
oh boy,
as a man who can put a screenplay down with the best of them,
sure.
Every character gets this moment where they're like, let me tell you why this is cool and why I do this, and this. And this is, and it's like, none of it's real conversation.
Right.
The stink fit. It's like, and I still kind of like it.
But
the dialogue is so like whatever that it was so bad that I refused to go back and watch Dogma because it was my favorite. That I was like,
you don't want it to be tainted.
I don't want it to be ruined.
Yeah, totally.
But I still love Jersey Girl, and everyone hated that one. I love Jersey Girl, and I love Chasing Amy. I don't care. Chasing
Amy's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say this, the dialogue, you're right, man. The dialogue in those movies, they're so stylized.
Right.
Because he's like, it's kind of like, like Quentin Tarantino does that, but Quentin Tarantino also is like, he's taking you so out of the realm of reality that, that you're like, okay, I buy this in this world.
Right.
Kevin Smith, it's like he's trying to sell you reality, but like in a way that people talk almost like on sitcoms, but cooler.
Right.
It's like what a nerd thinks is cool. It's so sad to watch a Kevin Smith movie because I'm watching someone try too hard.
Jason Lee, every line he has is like, why am I not buying a car? Because cars are, and he does like, that's like, cars with wheels. What's wheels? Wheels are weird and old people do wheels. I wear a leather jacket and ride one rollerblade.
It's true, man. And everything is a bad bit.
Yes.
Yes. That's what I was going to say. Every Kevin Smith dialogue is like him being afraid to do stand up. So him being like, you know what? I'm gonna have Jason Lee say it, see if it's a good bit, because I'm afraid to do the fucking Tuesday open mic at Ochis, you know?
Yeah,
Right.
Jason Leakin's everything.
We wouldn't have had Clerks if Kevin Smith took one trip to the dress factory.
Yeah.
Not to deal with any of his nonsense.
Bombed once and went, I'm gonna go fail at hockey now, and then he'll just open his comic book shop.
Yeah, and I've never seen a guy too like ride off of like one or two movies. I'll give that to him more than this guy has. Like he is celebrated from Clerks. Clerks was like 25 years ago, and he has a string of stinkers after that.
Yeah. Well, also like it viewed through the lens of 2021, Chasing Amy. What a bonkers premise! Just like
I don't remember.
I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna flip a lesbian.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Oh,
like
right.
the real movie would just like, hey, I'm in love with Amy. Too bad. She's a lesbian. Like, that's it. Instead, it's like, I got a winner. I got a flipper. I got to change her back.
Trying to flip her?
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck
Plays-
is in that movie?
Yeah, it's Ben Affleck trying to flip Amy, this lesbian that he meets and he's in love with. And I think it's really Kevin Smith. Some girl told him, I can't go out with you, I'm gay. And he was like, well, I'll get you back. I'll write a movie about it.
Yeah.
It's like one of those guys.
And then she was clearly dating someone else later. And he went, see, I flipped her. Like, no, man, she did not want to fuck you.
Not for my screenplay. She would have never met Marcos.
Who does she end up with in the end? Does it end with her being a lesbian still? Or does she completely break her genetic code?
Hanged by the government for her sexual preference. It takes a wild left turn. I forget kind of how it ends. Brenda, do you remember how it ends?
Fuck no. I never watched to the end of that thing. That's the thing with Kevin Smith movies. That's another interesting thing. You can just watch any 20-minute segment. You can watch any 20-minute segment and it's fine. You watch the whole movie, you know, like it never really gets anywhere. You know, like you kind of just get it.
Yeah, it's like a Woody Allen movie, but if nobody went to college.
I want to tell you that. You bring up a very good point about Woody Allen, which is, well, I don't like him because I didn't go to college.
Sure.
As you know. He sucks.
That's why you don't like Woody Allen.
Let me say this, and this is what makes me mad, is everyone thinks
However you get there, you get there. We're just happy you got there, you know?
everyone thinks I hate Woody Allen because he's a pedophile, but I'm like, you didn't even have to get that far into your argument for me.
Right.
I think you should go to jail for how corny these fucking movies are. They're all corny, and I've seen two of them,
Right.
and they're not great.
Uh-huh.
And then, so people go, Woody Allen, and I go, I hate him. And then they go, you don't even know his side of the story. I go, I never even heard his side of the story. Fucking Manhattan sucks. It sucked, and he's annoying, and it's all dumb. But now everyone thinks I'm some political activist because of my decision on his poor filmmaking.
I do like the idea of a guy who stumbles into being the leader of the anti-Woody Allen movement just because it's like, oh, we've never had an ally quite like this guy. And then they get around to it. It's like, oh, he just doesn't like his movies.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know about the allegations. And then he finds out about the allegations and goes, I'm torn.
Middle of the meeting,
I'm
I
hearing
just
him
go,
out.
He did what? I thought Manhattan was a crime.
That's why I thought the real crime and crimes and misdemeanors with this. They made this piece of shit.
I hate Woody Allen, and it's funny because I hate everyone has to like tell me what I feel. But I tell you this, I think love is love, man. That's what I think.
What's up, Greg? You know what's up? Dude. Way to bring it back full circle with just some cliche that you pulled out of the air. Man. Love is love, huh?
That's
Grab
the
him
best.
if you got him.
A guy that hates Woody Allen's movies but defends Woody Allen marrying his daughter. Like, look, the dialogue's this pseudo-intellectual horse shit, but you got to cut the guy some slack on marrying his daughter. She was adopted. All right, it's a stepdaughter situation. There's no proof.
Yeah. Actresses lie for a living.
Yeah.
Some people call it grooming. I call it getting to know you.
Yeah.
You're just getting to know me on a more personal level. No, I don't. I mean, I don't know.
Let's break down the phrase of grooming. Do we really hate it when it's done to a dog? You know what I mean?
I love I groom every dog.
You don't like a mangy animal.
It's a very, like you bring up a very point. They should get a new word for grooming. No, the word grooming is like, that's a good word. And they're using it for bad. You know, like grooming is like you groom a dog, you groom your hair, you groom things. So they should say it. It's like mentally brainwashing, for sexual reasons.
I agree with you. I think the word there shouldn't be any delicacy with it.
Too soft.
It's too soft for what the actual act is.
Yeah.
This is a terrible and despicable thing. You're getting away with calling it grooming.
Yeah.
The same way a golden retriever enjoys a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
No, it should be ruining a woman's life.
Right. It's the equivalent of like, that Woody Allen. He's always trying to freshen up these young girls.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Put makeup on them. It does seem a phrase out of time when you couldn't say what was actually going on.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, you never groom this definition of grooming. It doesn't even fit.
Right.
Grooming is cutting people's hair. It's cutting people. You're cutting people's hair.
That's part of the grooming process.
I don't know where that is. If you cut someone's hair long enough, they'll fuck you.
There's in the actual grooming. There is actual grooming that's going on. There are haircuts. People aren't talking about them.
Also, the bride and the groom.
For sure.
What's that connection?
Yeah.
You do the work on that one.
Brendan, it's crazy what he just did to me in the room. He goes, the bride and the groom. Do something with that.
That's like having my mom feed me bits.
Yeah, that was insane.
Two things. A, I love that Greg did that. B, I love that you explained it to me, Anthony, as if there's no camera there. As if
you're online. We don't know what you can hear anymore.
Exactly, man. I don't know what you can hear, not hear. I don't know where you are in space.
Grooms all over the place. You groomed the ice before a hockey game. They should call Woody Allen the Zamboni because that guy's grooming left and right.
Don't you ever put any Italian vowels on his name. I like to separate myself from the great Arthur Zamboni.
I was going to say we should name a kid Sam, middle name Boney. Old Sam Boney. Hell, then do something with that, Anthony. Huh? Mr. Comedy, Mr. Writer, Mr. Big Time Half Hour Special. Do something with that if you're so funny.
That's right, man. All you have to get is a subscription to Paramount Plus.
Mr. Sam Boney.
Oh, man. So anyway, I watched this Q documentary, right?
Guess we're done with the Zamboni bit. You didn't give me 5
No, Greg.
I want 5 alts.
All right, fine. Let's go. Let's talk more about Zamboni. No. Let's live here. Let's really get into Zamboni.
He's Mr. Halloween Bones. He walks around. He's got no skin. He's got a monocle. And what is his problem? He owes me money. That's pretty good. So far, so good.
So far,
no.
so good.
So far, I don't know what you're talking about. You're just describing a skeleton.
Boney is a man in a trench coat with a monocle whose only bones. He comes around on Halloween and he owes me money, but he can only show up on Halloween because that's the day he comes back from the dead.
Okay.
And every Halloween, I'm like, Sam, you got my money? He goes, forgot it in the underworld.
Man, wild. You threw so many things out there. I'm trying to grab one of the first guys.
Oh, also he grooms ice.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. I was going to say, now how much is he into you for?
A couple grand, couple hundo.
Fuck.
It changes every year because I forget. He keeps.
What kind of points? What kind of points you got on that?
The Vig? Well, it's just a bunch of Reese's because we deal in Halloween candy. He always comes on Halloween. He goes, "Look, I don't got the money, but how about a fresh bag of candy? You don't got to walk around for it."
Yeah.
And I go, Sam, I'll do it again, but next year you better have my goddamn money.
Yeah.
So he comes back from the dead.
Yes, Anthony. What are you not following?
Anthony,
what are you not following?
Try paying attention.
Whenever Greg, because Greg will introduce a crazy thing, and then there's 9, and then I'm still trying to wrap my head around the first thing.
Zamboni.
Yeah, slow down.
Yes, I will.
Slow down. I got the whole thing locked in one telling.
Well, bro, Brendan, good for you, you AP student.
He's a man made only of bones.
All right, Zamboni, and let me repeat it so I have it.
Right.
Zamboni is a man made only of bones.
Right, he's a skeleton man.
He's a skeleton.
Yes, I was going to say, if I could help, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Greg, an easier way, Anthony, maybe for you to picture this, he's a skeleton.
Perfect.
Is a skeleton man. He wears a gray trench coat, like a detective, and he has a monocle.
Okay.
This is all to make people think he is a professional.
I got it.
But the reality is he owes me money and he'll never give it to me. But because he only comes back to life every year on Halloween, he only has to dip me on the money once a year.
So wait, but he shows up every Halloween out of what, like a moral code?
No, because
that's so when he can come back.
He comes back to life on Halloween like a Halloween ghost.
I see. And Brendan, go ahead.
I had because I was following along swimmingly, and then I do have a slight question.
And you wanted to talk about QAnon.
This skeleton with a gray trench coat and a monocle for the purposes of appearing professional. What profession?
Well, I'll tell you this. You just skipped over the fact that guy wears a monocle and has got no eyeballs.
Yeah,
he was a detective.
Here's how Greg answers your question with more details to confuse you.
When's the last time you seen a skeleton with eyeballs?
No, I get that. But what? So he was a detective. I see. All right. Oh, then
he was a detective of the dead.
Oh boy, you think you have it, and then he throws in a new. You go, all right, he was a detective, and he goes, he's a detective of the dead, and you go, oh no, man, the world's spinning around again.
Let me let you in on a little secret.
Yeah,
this guy doesn't exist. Because every time I say his name, I come up with a new fun fact
to be real to me. That's all. In order for me to get on the train,
right?
It's got to be real for me.
Well, you know who he hangs out with?
Who's that?
The Yankee Ghost. Why don't you tell us about that? Or you want to talk about QAnon?
No, I don't even care to talk about QAnon.
I don't care about anything.
I felt a natural point in the podcast for me to go, let's talk about a thing we thought of beforehand. That was all. I'd much rather talk about the Yankee Ghost. And I was just trying to buy sad Mike, if he could pull himself up by his bootstraps to give himself some time.
Before you do that, did I ever tell you about my Vietnamese friend?
I hope not, because I would have been mad.
Trom? Yeah, Trom.
You just have to jump past Greg's reaction.
You gotta ignore something.
I hope not, because I would have been mad.
Yeah,
60% of this you gotta just run on by. You go, I don't care if that's how. Like when an ambulance drives by another guy down the street, they're like, I gotta go to the call I was called for.
Right.
We gotta get another car for that one. Maybe on the way back we could scoop it up. Sorry, too much coffee, not enough water. But Brendan was telling us about his Japanese friend.
No, hold on. Some things you can't drive by. How often are you imagining that an ambulance is on a way to a call and sees another horrific?
Well, because Greg is the guy that the ambulance has to pass. He's shaking the stick in the middle of the yard or whatever he thinks.
I had an ambulance once, and I remember it was driving by blazing, and I went, no, help here. We need help. And the guy stopped, and I went, I got a splinter. And he went, I got a gunshot I got to get to. Maybe on the way back, if he's dead.
Yeah,
if the guy's dead and we're coming back on this road, I'll check out your splinter.
Check it out. Yeah, I was buddies with a Vietnamese fella named Tron.
North or South Vietnam?
What? Oh, South. Come on.
Good. Yeah. The good ones. Brendan, I got to let you talk. I'm sorry. Tell me about this Vietnamese guy. All in. I'm all in.
Last name, Bone.
Trombone?
Yeah, that's right.
Wait a minute. My mind
is that real?
Speaking of blood, my mind is.
His real name was Trombone?
No, I was doing a Zamboni thing.
Man.
God.
I was coming up.
My heart can't take another Zamboni incident.
Now,
well,
this fella, Trombone was a ghost, and he was in the Hanoi Hilton with John McCain. And, that's, of course, the moniker of the famous North Vietnamese prison torture camp. And so this guy would come to me every what's that holiday they got going over there? The
Winter's Edge.
It could be the Winter's Edge. Let's entertain that.
Did he come on the
Winter's
Edge?
Would come every
Winter's Edge.
He would come
winter, the solstice.
I was going to say Tet, but he would come every Winter's Edge, and he would beg me to remove the spikes from his loins so that he could play once again his beautiful jazz notes like Miles Davis. And he knew Zamboni.
Loins? Is that the crotch?
That's the crotch area. Yeah, they spiked his crotch.
As you would if you need to keep a bone man down.
Yeah. They spiked his crotch.
Well, everyone knows when the skeletons get on the loose, you got to chain them down.
Yeah,
sure.
Because that's why every graveyard,
everyone
has what they don't show you in the funeral movies is them locking the casket and chaining the casket so that the dead can't crawl out.
Funny, you'd be surprised. These things are like hamsters. You'll find a way to get out of these. Oh yeah,
Dude.
Also-
If your mom ever dies and they shut that casket, what the guy will usually say, he goes like, "What are we putting there? Was this so people won't steal their things?" They go, "Nah, man, it's to keep them inside." It's a real weird thing to say to someone burying your family.
That was my favorite aisle at Blockbuster, funeral movies. I loved that genre as you've described, the good old funeral movie.
It was a short-lived idea from Blockbuster to do a funeral aisle.
Do they do the baby caskets in like a separate section of the funeral place? It's like kind of like a porn alley, because you don't want to put the baby caskets in the middle of the regular casket section, because that's actually too depressing.
Right.
I know this actually. Do you want to know?
Do they have beads? Is it like a beaded area?
No,
Just like the 80s with a video store with
like the porno video. No, I actually
Yeah.
do know the answer to this. Do you want the serious answer?
Yeah.
Because when a child dies, you're really sad, right?
Right.
And so what do you need? A little cheering, a little cheering up. So
Right.
they do them Russian doll style. So they go, I'm looking for a 14-year-old's casket. They go, come on over here. They go, that's a full-size casket. And you go, they open it up. No, it's not. There's the other casket. And you go, but also the baby brother died. Where's the baby casket? I don't see any. Open up the 14-year-old casket. There's the baby casket, baby. And that guy's laughing his ass off, going, you're putting caskets and caskets. All of a sudden, he's forgot about his kids that are dead. You know, it's a Russian doll, nesting doll situation.
Well, here's the thing. Most of these people, they're not sad. I hate to call you out on this, but most of the people aren't sad because, as everyone knows, most babies who die are killed by their parents. So this is getting way too dark. I gotta get out of this.
It's just so funny to watch Greg swivel back and forth between talking to you and talking to me while he's
Yeah, I'll do a head tilt. You won't.
he's doing this wonderful charade.
But yeah, I guess baby caskets are. Do they do just a head
Greg's
casket?
final consensus. Right. I guess baby caskets are what?
Keep it in the porn section.
To wrap us up here, I guess.
They get real mad. They get real mad if you go, you know what? I'm just doing a shoebox. And they go, this thing costs $2,000. And you go, yeah, fuck you. I'm doing a shoebox. Same thing. And you blasted their business plan to shit when you tell them you're doing a shoebox.
Well, a big move they are known for is they just put the baby in the regular size casket, but put a bunch of phone books in the bottom, like an old lady who can't drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
They'll put a lot of fluff in there. He loved his pillows. You know, he loved all his stuffed animals.
What are those things that come in a package? All those little white styrofoam balls.
Oh yeah, that's the peanuts.
Anyway.
The packing peanuts.
Peanut.
Or I knew a place that did a move where they go, here's the thing. We can sell you a baby casket, or we can do a full-size casket, and you gotta wait till about 9 other babies die. And and we do that move. You all split it equally. It's a good deal. We get him in there. They're friendly. It looks like a nice. This is too dark. Also, somebody get me out of this. Somebody get me out of this. Thank you, Anthony. What do you got?
This bargain bin DVD Walmart baby casket idea.
Can you tell me, was this a break idea I had at the break, or was this something I saw?
Okay.
But I think there was like an idea of like a casket on wheels.
Yes,
Or something. It was like a casket with tread marks. It was like, so you can. Let's tell you, who wants to carry these things? These things, baby's got an engine on it.
This was an idea you pitched at the break for a sketch. It was a casket on wheels, so that the pallbearers, they don't need to carry the casket.
Right.
They could just kind of wheel it down.
And it was remote controlled.
Yeah. Yes.
No one liked it. And I would say it embarrassed myself, but I thought it was funny. And he had an off-road one, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we didn't have the budget for for big casket bits.
And I'll say this about you: when an idea isn't going over, Greg will sink his teeth into it.
You goddamn right.
You know, there'd be where most people would go, all right, this isn't going over. I'm gonna get out of Dodge. Greg will go, let me give you the second, third beat, and here's a fourth beat that I just made up, and then I'm gonna ask you, tell me why we can't make this. I'm gonna make it real uncomfortable for everyone.
Yeah, I would pitch half an idea, and then they would go, huh, and I would stand up.
Yeah, yeah.
I would stand up and go, you're not getting me.
It's true, man. Sometimes Greg would just be standing up. It would be, it was great.
Oh, I had this idea for like a burrito gun.
Yeah, I remember.
It was like, instead of a t-shirt cannon, it was a burrito cannon, and everyone shot it down so bad. And then like a week later,
it was a pizza cannon.
Yes. Yeah, and like a month or so later, or two, maybe like a year later, someone had something similar on another show, and it was like a great, hilarious sketch. And I almost got some money.
Rounded the writers back up and got him in the room.
Let's watch this. Look how this is going over.
Yeah.
This is pizza cannon.
Well, they had
a burrito cannon on some other show.
Adam Newman has a bit about a burrito gun at a basketball game that he was at. Oh, you're talking about this other show had this burrito cannon.
Might have been that joke. I don't know. All I remember is hearing it and people laughing and going, this was my whole idea.
I just remember because it was pizza cannon. Because Greg would also he would just throw 2,000 on everything, which I thought was really funny. The first 4 ideas that Greg pitched for the break had 2,000 on the end of it, whatever they were.
Yeah.
Not the year, it's the number of iterations I have. This is the 2,000 pizza cannon.
It's a small factory.
Right.
We can only afford so much to keep the lights on.
Right. They had a hot dog slingshot at the Indians game one time. Every single goddamn hot dog they slingshotted came unwrapped in the air. Just bun and dog everywhere. It was a poorly thought. Put some tape. Put a little tape. All you need is a little tape. Instead, you're showering the crowd in fucking hot dog debris, and everyone's getting a piece of what do I want with the bun? One bun.
Right.
Fuck
my
you.
original idea. One of my big time first idea inventions, which may have actually gotten made, or someone else said it, but I don't care. I came up with it first.
Okay,
was edible tape. It was a tape for like when your burrito is falling apart. You can do edible tape when you're hot. Like what makes you madder than when your bread breaks?
Nothing makes me madder that I can't eat my tape.
Right, exactly. When you're hanging a poster and you're like, I got to take this thing down. Let's eat it.
Yeah, I'm a big. I'll back edible tape.
Right.
If I can't say how much I'll throw into the ring here, but I will back edible tape. I think it's a fine idea.
Well, why don't you give me $1,000 for R&D?
Why don't I? Brendan, when you find any holes in edible tape? Because I'm not really seeing any.
And you won't, not with the tape. Take it right back up.
I actually love the idea of edible tape because here's the thing. You have a few things you could use as edible tape, but they're not good because they're all candy. And so the thing because you could use fruit by the foot, right? But here's the thing. Sure. You need everything that any food that needs taping is a savory food. Desserts don't need taping. I can't use fruit by the foot. I need a avocado tape, Greg, what is the flavor of the tape is I guess what I'm getting at.
I'll say this, and this is just something else. You know how you get your ice cream melt? Hand me the ball, I'll do another
That
one.
was nuts. That was nuts.
I don't have anything on
went
that.
through a lengthy perspective on your idea of edible tape, and he goes, Greg, what are you thinking? You go, well, I'll say another thing.
I got something else for you. I don't know what that is. I don't know. I mean, the taste, it's got to mask the tape, but it doesn't matter. We've moved on to a new thing.
Well, I have actually one thing to say.
It's about that.
Okay, all right.
It's like, how your ice cream melts?
Yeah.
You have a gun that you shoot the ice cream and it refreezes it. Like get back to edible tape. That's all I wanted to say.
You have to invent. This is so funny. Edible tape. It's like, not that like there's just like some kind of edible adhesive, but like this whole other thing is this ice cream gun technology.
Cold gun. It's like a hot air dryer, but it's a cold air dryer.
Right.
And edible tape. Anthony.
I want to go back to
whatever you want.
Hold on.
Whatever you want.
Anthony, before you
I'm gonna have to jump back in one of these thumbnails, man. This guy's crazy.
Before you go back,
thumbnail.
Anthony,
magic.
before you go back
to the machine.
Before you go back to the tape, I have to just really second what you're saying and drive it home.
Yeah.
The leaps and bounds in technology between edible tape, which seems completely doable, and a fucking ice cream freeze gun that just, I mean, the military couldn't make a freeze gun. What is it?
This is what's great. His first idea is a clever idea. His second idea just goes an ice cream gun.
Because you guys don't know about how nitrous works. You guys don't know about nitrous oxide.
Yeah, we don't.
Nitrous oxide.
The
Dry ice, yes.
dry ice. Okay.
Well, not around me because I get it all wet, you know. Anyway, I had too much coffee. You guys want to talk about what were we supposed to talk about?
I had one thing to bring up about.
I'm not mad. I'm excited. I'm sorry. I'm not mad. I'm
You're
excited.
the only person who excited seems adversarial.
Definitely
Like
not.
he wants to fight. All right. So, what you were saying, Brendo, with the edible tape, it doesn't work for desserts. I actually think it'd be good because lots of times you'll make a pie or something and like you don't do the crust right, and then the filling is popping out. I actually think you could use edible tape in the dessert world quite often.
Yes. Sorry, I'm excited. I'm not adversarial. I'm happy to help you with this. Yeah, to get pie crust is one of the leading problems I have.
Right.
Because now you're just giving me pie pudding. I don't want pie pudding.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes, totally.
I got a gun that puts pie crust on things.
Get away from the gun technology part of
like
this.
guns. America loves its guns.
That's true. They do like guns. It's just it's too easy an invention just to go, I don't know, it's a gun that does that.
Well, let me ask you this. America's all about its guns, right?
Sure.
Well, what if you started putting guns into everything so then people forgot about the bullet guns? Right? Like, what are you talking about? You can have your guns. You got your pie gun. You got your cake gun. You got your happy gun.
Man, what a whimsical way to solve gun control.
Yeah. And then people don't lose jobs, you know? The rifle manufacturers, we just like, look, we're just taking bullets out and we're putting sugar cubes in.
That's so funny. And it's also funny, too, because people, like, you're like, I'm not saying the solution's not no guns. It's not less guns. It's more guns. It's just the kind of guns. It's just there's not enough candy guns.
Yeah. Guns
What a
are
cartoon
fine.
character.
Guns are fine. It's the metal bullets that is the problem.
Right.
You're not using enough raisin bullets, that kind of thing. We're looking for like seed bullets. Look, I got a tree gun. Okay, it shoots acorns all over the field. Guess what? Wait 100 years. Beautiful oak forest.
First of all, we got to pause. My idea not as good as that. Seed gun is the move. Every time someone dies, something new comes to life. You shoot someone with a seed, they die, and then where they died, a tree comes up. That's bro. That's just a circle of life, Padre.
That's why
That's
why I call my dick a seed gun.
That's actually pretty factual. I wanted to say an idea gun. And so it's like a bullet that contains an idea. So when you shoot them, they become enlightened with your way of thinking so that you don't have to kill them.
Oh, I see.
It's
like
an
that would be
idea gun.
I see. That's interesting.
I don't know how to put an idea into a physical.
Well, no, this is all. I thought it was interesting as like a superhero who has that power. You're talking about the actual schematics of an idea gun. Sure, Greg. Yeah, I'm not going to know, and I don't think anyone's going to know.
Well, all ideas really are different electrodes firing off in your brain.
Okay.
Right? So if it's some kind of it's like an electric gun that shoots you and electrocutes your brain in the way to get those ideas going. Now we're onto something.
Oh man, hate to be one of the test trials for the idea gun. I feel like things are going to go south pretty quickly, and it's going to be quite a while before you get this thing right.
Aside from people just dying from electric shock, you're going to get bad ideas first.
Most people are going to die from electroshock. You're never going to get as far enough as you need to get with the prototype to not have been arrested.
Well, I wanted him to believe in gay marriage. Now I turned him into a communist.
Yeah, just another one who's a pile of ash. We can't get this idea gun right.
You're literally just describing the most nefarious program in the history of the CIA, where they experimented with mind control for 60 years and killed tons of people. So, and they couldn't nail it down.
Is that fact, or is this one of your conspiracy theories?
No, that's not COINTEL. Mike, what's that program called where the
goat one, the goat show?
The mind control, the CIA mind control program.
Remember they did a movie with goats?
Yeah, staring at men who stare at goats.
You're right.
Yeah, I know. I'm right. Don't talk to me like I'm a child.
Well, Greg goes, the goat show.
Yeah, anyway, you're right. Don't kill yourself, little friend.
MK Ultra is the program. It went on for years. They were trying to figure out how to control people's minds. And one guy, and I mean, they just fucked people for life. One guy, one experiment on mind control was, what happens if we give a guy acid every day for 3 years? And they found out you can't control his mind, but he will go fucking insane forever.
He'll kill himself.
Yeah.
He'll jump out of a hotel window.
Yeah,
Yes,
but before
yeah.
that, he becomes very sexually adventurous and hangs out at parties.
They didn't.
And he's very cool. The last 2 years, he's very cool.
They didn't mention those couple. They didn't mention those couple of years. Where, he was fucking and sucking his way through Cincinnati.
There was in the debrief. They were like, now before we get to the end, there was a sweet spot in there. So I don't want anyone to really think this was a total failure, because he did become a pretty hep cat for a while there.
Yeah, man.
He made some pretty good music.
And then he blew his brains out.
Yeah.
And that's the story behind Miles Davis.
Yeah.
Said MK Ultra. Sorry, I just want to pivot. MK Ultra became a beer. I don't know if you ever drank that. It was the first. It went from mind control to the first 1-calorie beer.
Yeah, you're right. Is it MK Ultra? That's the name of
Michelob
it,
Ultra,
right? Or is it just Michelob Ultra?
I call it
Michelob Ultra. Yeah.
Out of respect for those who died in the mind control field.
Yeah, maybe that MK Ultra, that'll control your mind.
What is this episode about?
I don't know, Greg. It's not. I mean, you are the one who stopped the episode to make sure we went through our plans for the episode, and then continued to just scream nonsense into the air any chance you got. So I have no idea, Greg.
Can I do a check-in?
Can I do a check-in? Lunatic.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm
having an idea later.
I'm having a fucking great time.
Yeah,
that's what it's about to me. So what do I care? Suck my dick.
Well, I got a big. Hang on, I'm getting a phone call on my computer.
Who is it?
I hope it didn't ruin my computer.
No, it doesn't, because that would happen with me all the time, and then you guys would be like, "Oh, we didn't even notice."
Well, I got a question, and this is something that I think people might find upsetting. I don't. Well, you wear clothes. Why can't we wear accents? You know what I mean? Everyone says you can't talk can only talk the way you came from.
Okay.
Maybe I want to have an Asian accent. Why can't I choose that? The way you talk has nothing to do.
It's so funny. Greg is pivoting back and forth to all right, my idea is not being sold over there. Let me go over here and try to pitch it over here. Then he goes back to you. We're just listening to this.
Well, I just think that people should be able to, I want to have a Southern accent.
I got
y'all want to talk like this? Y'all should be able to talk like that.
Okay.
But the mainstream media,
take a breath.
The mainstream media won't let you decide how you want to talk. Wear an outfit, wear an accent.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, I will say this.
It's not cultural.
I will say this on that. I say this to say that. Couldn't agree more. Why not wear accents? Second of all, they're playing these games, and this is how you know it's wrong. Because you're goddamn allowed to do any accent you want as long as it's your own race. Do you know what I mean? I can walk around all day long doing a Russian accent. Nobody's gonna say anything. All of a sudden, I want to come in hot with a little fucking Vietnamese, and I'm screwed. What's that about? Everyone talk however they want.
Right. People tell me this is what makes me absolutely furious. In order for me to talk like this is who I am. This is who I am. I have to have sex with a man. I would love to have sex with a man, but it doesn't do it for me.
That's very funny. If you want to get the voice, you got to walk the walk.
It's not. I'm everything but that. Right. I kind of just want to cut my penis off and say, look, I can't have sex with a man. I don't have a penis, but I want to dance and I want to talk.
Right. If you wanted to, you got to kiss a couple guys in May.
Right. The way I talk has nothing to do with who I want to have sex with. Let me be who I am, because what I have sex with means nothing to me. But who I dance with is words and language and irrespective of the people.
What a sentence taken out of context, too. For him to be screaming while his wife is in the other room. Who I have sex with means nothing.
to me.
Jesus Christ.
Not what I meant.
Well,
you know what I meant.
This brings up a long-standing query in my mind that I've had, like, right? And I don't know the answer. Maybe either of you guys know the answer. Every single accent in the world is developed by where you grew up, except the stereotypical gay accent. How did they all get that? They all grew up somewhere different. Why are you all talking like that?
Also, the Southern is this. David Cross did this as a bit years ago,
Right?
But you will find it's that like lispy accent plus this Southern accent you'll find everywhere. Doesn't matter the geographics.
Right. South New Jersey.
Yes.
Right. So this is my thing.
Okay.
Right. And this is the thing that bothers me is as a man who grew up in
You so delicately point to your chest when you do these
this is
things.
my pearls. I really got to buy pearls. I'm gonna get a tattoo of
We
pearls.
gotta get you a bunch of pearls. That's a given.
Well, here's the thing, right? As a man who grew up in Newark, East Orange, where people would say thug culture ruled, right?
Many would say it.
This voice has no sexual preference to it whatsoever.
Nothing.
It's just it somehow changes.
It goes to the party and it dances who it wants with it. It came with nobody and it leaves with everybody.
But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I love what you say. People would always say I ended up talking more a white later in life because people said you're talking black, and I said no, this is how we grew up. This motherfucker talk like this. That's how we all talked. And then they say, well, growing up white in a black neighborhood, you don't just come out being like, how are y'all doing? Y'all want to grab some coffee at noon? No one does that.
Right.
So the idea that language speaks to the tone of your skin is silly. Language is based on the new age rules, which I'm writing. Which is anything. Pick your accent.
Oh, man.
Pick your religion. Pick your accent. Pick a booger. You know what I mean?
That's a good shirt. Pick your religion, pick your accent, pick a booger.
Right. Dude, I think I told you this, and I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. If I could talk like anybody, it would be a wise Japanese samurai.
Right.
You know, the guy who goes, let them fight.
Sure. Yeah.
That's who I want to be, but I wasn't born that way.
Right.
So I can't live that life. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah,
I have to live the life of a white man who has no money because they won't give it to me.
It's also funny because it's like
Sorry. Coffee might be strong.
you know,
it's just so funny to try to pivot from anywhere where you take us.
well, I don't even want to pivot. I think it's funny, much like who knows what color dinosaurs were, you know? It's the same thing with like the wise samurai. Like they were pretty much, that culture was died out by the time there were audio recordings. So we're assuming that they had that voice, but those guys could have been like, let them fight. We gotta let these guys fight. You know that could have been their style. They could have gone. My sword is too heavy. My sword is too heavy.
Old Jewish women.
What happened to my ninja stars? Where are my ninja stars, Kathy?
You got a twig in your ponytail.
You got a twig in your ponytail.
My wife is Asian. My wife is Asian. This is offensive to her culture.
You should stop for half an
My
hour.
wife is almost Chinese, and you know that. You know that. You made culturally offensive jokes to my mother, to my mother-in-law. Oh, just kidding. Anyway, welcome to Rad DudeCast. Yeah, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But I guess people would call it cultural appropriation.
Sure.
But I won't call it that.
We'll get somebody on here who we'll get somebody on payroll,
right?
Who handles all, who goes, this is a pass or fail. The cultural appropriation.
I'm not following their rules anymore.
Well, he's on our payroll.
Because that's what I mean. We are 500 a month, 500 every 6 months.
I know a guy named Sam Boney. He can use the money, to be honest.
Well, you guys
don't give that guy any money. He won't come through.
You guys seem to be forgetting we've been through this. His name was Dan Harumi, and he okayed everything. So we're fine. We passed the test. The guy said okay.
You can't. All want to tell you on why you can't do things, and I want to tell people on why you can do things.
Right, you're a Ken man.
I'm a Ken man.
Yeah,
don't tell me why no. Give me 15 reasons why we can.
Why yes.
Why yes. Why yes. Why I can't walk. If I go to Japan for 5 years,
they're not letting you in.
They're not gonna let me in.
let's call it that. They're not letting you in, and you'll have gone to the wrong country. You'll have gone to China, and there's no two. I'd
argue it's Connecticut. Yeah. It's a pizza restaurant in Connecticut. Yeah, I go, is this Japan?
Yep, you're at a PF Chang's.
I will say this:
flight. The car just went real fast.
I will say this: if Greg went to Japan and 1 week later I received word that Greg was in a North Korean gulag, I would say, of course he is. I did not think for a second he would be anywhere but a North Korean gulag on his trip to Japan.
See, and this is what gets me.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'll go 5 years in Japan, and then I'll come back with the Asian accent.
Right.
I earned it.
Right.
I learned Japanese, and now I'm like, how are you? How's everybody doing? That's probably offensive, but I don't speak this way.
People give you a little wiggle room if you stay in a place a little while.
That's what I'm saying. I come back in the kimono, but how many women do
you might not want to, I don't want to go full tilt.
I knew a girl, and I think we've all known a girl who did a summer in England, and then comes back like, hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guy, you from Boston, bitch, right? But she tries to act like she's now like British because she thinks British is hierarchy.
Right.
I don't know where I'm going with any of this.
I'll tell you where you're going. I'll tell you where you're going. If you sign off on, if you're not British and you sign off on an email, cheers. Fuck you. Fuck.
Right.
That's big in our industry. I get the industry.
I agree with you, man.
Cheers. Fuck you. You're not English. You didn't earn it. You know, we're not doing that.
I agree with you.
Every time someone writes cheers to me in an email, I respond to the email thanks, but what they don't realize is that, you know how in the reply it shows their email? I go back and delete cheers and write sincerely yours. And they never know. But I go, just letting you know, this is because it's really a correction email to say, you got to write sincerely yours.
You do that for you.
Yeah, and it's like an underhanded, hit him in the balls, like, fuck you, dummy. But no one checks that.
And then you go, hey, I appreciate you always say sincerely yours on your emails. And they go, I read cheers. And you go, the proof is right here. Say sincerely yours. So
this is all in blue and this is clearly in black.
Yeah.
Well, it's a real delete job. Does that make any sense? Anyway.
You want to wrap this pony up? Take it back to the stable, wash it down. It's 1 hour and 1 minute. I don't know why you're checking your watch, Anthony. There's a running clock at the top of the screen.
I got a cap.
I'm so far away. I'm Brendo. My proximity to the screen is further now, so I can't see, and I don't have my glasses on.
Oh, that's right. Anyway,
I can't see because I got this blinding light in my eyes. You can't tell. You got to see this thing.
We got to take some pictures from our vantage points of the room because we talked a lot on the last Patreon episode about the room, and I think people deserve to see this.
Koala crazy, brother.
You guys look great, I will say.
Thank you, my camera.
Kick your ass all the way back to Switzerland.
Thanks, Brandon. These are my camera and mic, so thank you.
Can I do some plugs real quick? Do you guys care?
Please. Yeah.
All right.
I right now on Comedy Central Comedy Central stand-ups Instagram, they're playing my full.
How do you know about that?
Because you told me. Greg brought this to my attention. They're playing my full Adam Devine set, so go take a look at that. It'd help me if it gets some views. I just recorded a dry bar special. I think it's going to be a while before that's out. Man. Thank you. It's going to be a while before it's out, but check that out when it comes out. I will be at the St. Louis Funny Bone this week, followed by the following week, I'll be at the Tulsa Looney Bin. And then the last week in April, I will be at the Wichita Looney Bin. So, come out to those shows if you're around.
I got to tell you something.
All right.
So at some point, I don't know the date.
You always seem like you're about to break into song.
Yeah,
Like it's like the first spoken words before a song is coming.
Let me tell you something, boys.
Yeah.
I got a quick question for the ladies and an old time chant for the boys. Women are right. You gotta listen to your woman. Women are right. You gotta fight for them. Well, let me tell you something, Anthony. I do have pre-crooner song voice.
Yeah.
Fuck. I should have went that way with my career. Anyway, I got a trick I'm doing. I'm opening.
I'll tell you this.
Tell me.
There are almost, besides Michael Bublé, there's like no young crooners. So you can pivot to crooner right now. You'll be one of the youngest crooners on the market.
Sure. I'm doing this comedy club called it's in you did it, City Steam.
Okay.
Let me tell you this. The booker,
Yeah.
he's not paying a lot.
Sure.
And I think he's going to try to take the fee for the feature out of my money.
Okay.
So I'm throwing him a curveball.
Okay.
I'm not doing a feature.
No, this is great.
I'm
This
going to
is
just
great.
go just me.
This is a great
It's
idea.
going to be an hour and a half.
I love it.
And I currently only have about 20 minutes of material that I'm
This is
comfortable
a
doing.
Beautiful idea.
I'm going to do City Stream. They're going to ladies and gentlemen, your headliner, Greg Stone. And then they're going to go, where's the feature? I'm going to go, nope, let's start it. Here I am.
Can I also offer like a little alternative? I think you feature for yourself as a different guy.
Yes, that's the way to do it.
We got a great feature tonight. Wacko Jacko is here. And we've also got Greg Stone. You come out as Wacko Jacko.
great.
All you do is talk shit about
10
Greg
minutes.
Stone.
Yes.
All you go is
Yeah.
your headliner is a fucking pussy.
Real cocksucker. This guy's a real cocksucker. And he hates women. And I hate women. He's a cocksucker and I hate women. What the fuck are you, dude?
He hates women. He hates the Whalers. He hates the Hartford Whalers. So he's so happy that they're not a hockey team anymore.
You come out and just accuse Greg of like horrible crimes.
That's funny.
And then Greg has to dig himself out of that.
Most of Greg's set is defending himself against Wacko Jacko's accusations.
And I would further recommend like extremely limited attempt at disguising Wacko Jacko. Like just turn your hat backwards. You know what I mean? Like don't even try and fool them. Just fuck with their heads, you know? Like just don't wear your glasses or like look to a different way, you know? Like
Here's the thing. I think comedically that's a funnier idea, but logistically what I could do, and I think I might try this, is Wacko Jacko goes up, and then I'll have to have a host or just someone to come in and introduce me.
Sure.
I run off stage and immediately shave my beard, like shave my real beard off, and then come up as Greg. Right, that's a real quick costume change I could do, and then literally have people in the front being like, "Did he just shave his beard and put his contact lenses in?
That's fun.
Hair all over my neck."
yeah.
Everywhere, every which way. My shirt is just inside out.
Yeah, the contacts aren't in right. Squinting, water causes a saline solution running down your eyes.
Yeah. So come see Wacko Jacko.
So come see Wacko
at
Jacko
City
and Greg
Steam at some point.
Yeah, and I am in DC in June at the Big Hunt. I couldn't for the life of me tell you the dates. They're in my phone, but I refuse to look at it. And then that's really it for me, man. I might be on the road with Sam coming up, so check his calendar for
Which
my
Sam?
stuff. Sam Morril.
You got to say that.
I think
You think they know?
the boys are back in town. Me and Sammy. We're gonna do a live people talking sports all over the country.
Oh, right.
I
tell you, I'm opening for David Cross again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're doing the cross country tour. He goes as cross, I go as country. I do a song.
Man,
Cross country.
What is he goes as his last name. I go as a whole genre.
if you think
A little bit of cross, a little bit of country. This is the comedy show.
Our podcast should just be us trying to wrap up the podcast and Greg refusing us to do that.
if you think
Yellow light, where I try to speed through.
It's really what the podcast should be. The minute it starts, we're trying to end it, and Greg has to we got to see how long he can go.
Because it's a little bit of cross and a little bit of country.
if you
Get on
think
board, do the old boat time. What?
if you think I didn't spend the whole time I was in Provo, Utah by myself trying to come up with a Provo alone provolone joke.
Oh,
And it just never came together. It never
Right.
came together for me, you know. But that's
I can do it
like
for you.
cross country, you know.
When you're in Provo, right? Here's what you say. You just come out on stage crying. For 40 minutes, you just try to get through your jokes. And then when someone says, Mr. Comedian, why are you so sad? You go, because I've been Provo alone my whole life. And I just can't take it anymore.
Yeah, then you bring in Monty.
Get it, Monty.
Give it to me flat, not too hard this time, you know.
Follow along and try not to dance too much.
Yeah.
It's my show.
Jimmy Stacks on the sticks, baby.
Yeah, all right.
Man,
I guess
Mike-
we can go, but I'm just going to now do the rest of this to Tita.
Yeah, that's the problem. This is the problem with the podcast, Brendan. This is what we don't see.
I'm all jacked up.
Is that we jack Greg? Greg gets so jacked after this that he can't come down. Whereas you and I will probably go, I'm exhausted. I need a nap. Greg goes, I finally feel alive for this. I thought I was sick.
Yeah, now I'm screaming at the pizza guy for an hour. And he's like, what are you talking about, laser pants, man? They're pants that are laser activated, dude. And he's like, pepperoni or Mats. And I go, it's called Mats. You're no Italian.
Yeah, Mike,
Mike, we're
do
going
you
to
have
go.
anything to plug, Mike?
I don't currently.
Yeah, Mike can't get out of bed to do anything.
Mike, let me tell you what Mike's doing this whole podcast.
He's doing his charcoal drawings.
I say sleeping on his belly. He's sleeping face down in a bed on his belly, just with his hand off with the record button goes boop, and then he just goes, and he wakes up and he goes, getting paid for nothing. Ain't it a great day?
No, Mike.
I know. I'm
Mike
joking.
Mike is on
Mike
his
is
belly.
wonderful.
Yeah, Mike is going crying. Every day is cloudy. It's a cloudy day.
Old Seattle Mike.
Yeah. No, Mike. Mike. What's going on with you? At the end of the podcast, we're going to do a new thing where we do 1 minute with Mike.
Well, real quick, I think we need to end the podcast in what I like to call an elimination match, where people just start signing off as they can't take anymore. I'll win every one.
This is a great idea. I really do think that we should change the premise of the podcast to what I was saying, where we try to end it the minute it starts, and Greg just tries to keep it going the whole time. And then it ends whenever it ends.
It ends when everyone just gets up and goes,
Yeah.
I'm out. Brendan's got to get his baby. And Andy just goes, I fucking can't.
I can't take it anymore.
And Mike just goes, I'm turning it off.
Yeah.
And it ends in the middle of me in a sentence.
I think it's perfect.
I was kidding about that joke before, Mike. I don't think you sleep on your belly.
Yeah, I think you
it's not very
sleep-
comfortable.
I sleep standing up, saluting the American flag,
As
like
you
every
should.
Texan,
like a horse.
just like a horse.
I think that's a myth. I heard. I think they like
Horses?
to. Yeah, I think they lay down.
No, they sleep
kick-
upside down like bats.
Yeah, is it?
Oh yeah. I had a horse problem in my basement growing up.
Say gravity.
This conversation. Greg goes, they sleep upside down like bats. Brendan goes, I had a horse problem in my basement. I mean, this is just, this is great.
It was
loving
crazy.
what I'm
I had to
saying.
swat them with a tennis racket. They were hanging from the rafters in my basement. Horses everywhere. I had to go swat them out. My mom goes, get the horses out of the basement. I say, I don't know how they're getting in here. They must like the fruit, you know? I was swatting them.
Yeah, we had the same. We had a pull-up bar in my basement. They'd always sneak in somehow,
Yeah.
and they'd always get in there to take their little midday naps.
Speaking of your
Their
basement,
little hay naps.
speaking of your basement, Yankee Ghost. Why don't you tell
Greg,
us about it?
you son of a bitch.
We got to
Greg.
save Yankee Ghost. We got to save
Yeah,
Yankee
we're gonna-
Ghost.
well, we found my mom sent me photo evidence of the Yankee Ghost, and I showed it to Greg and Brendan yesterday. We're gonna talk all about it on the Patreon.
It's 9
Maybe.
hours of content. It's 9 hours of content.
I'll tell you this. I feel like all of the things you guys want to talk about are like when they have Ben Stiller on the Late Show, and they go, no time for Ben Stiller. Not Ben Stiller, Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
Matt
yeah,
Damon.
Matt Damon.
Yes.
My brain was almost there.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go. People are driving their cars off the car road, the code.
Wow. That is I think that you were describing your brain right there.
Right.
That was heavy. People are
Yeah.
driving their cars off the car road.
Mountain Dew, Code Red.
Yeah, code red, my friend. All right, great podcast.
All right.
The Rad DudeCast is hosted by Anthony DeVito, Brendan Eyre, and Greg Stone. Original music by Brian Zippert. Produced by Mike Suarez. Executive producers Brendan Eyre, Greg Stone, and Anthony DeVito. Executive producers, Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly for the Laugh Button Podcasts.